So this thing is not working properly, but um I have a little bit of important things to say, I must say. So yeah, I know I did not plan to come on here, but I've been getting some pretty interesting comments that I feel like deserve a little shining of light to, I must say. So YouTube is so confusing. Um yeah, I don't think I'm ever gonna get this wacky shit. But so I wanted to go over a few key terms that a lot of people may not realize that they're doing with the entirety of the situation. And that is particularly dating violence and stalking. A lot of people are seeming to downgrade these type of behaviors because they don't get the severity of them and what they can lead to. So again, I'm gonna say, if you are a person who comes into my space and you say shit like that you think I should get over it and not why the fuck isn't this working? So shows this, but not this. Hold on. Sit down, pretty boy. I Alright. I have no idea why this thing is not working. But hi Ron. I am talking about some key terms of abuse, particularly because there's a lot of people who trying to explain my situation to me as if I'm not a whole ass anthropologist who studies culture and society myself. So, especially in the line of dating violence, I think is very interesting on how there are people who come into my space and tell me, like, literally, I just got on YouTube, like, probably like 30 or 40 minutes ago, and there's somebody comment to me saying that I make myself look worse by talking about it still. And my thing is, I don't need to look worse, or I don't care to look worse or better towards anybody at all. I don't need to. I'm not talking about what is going on with me because I give a fuck or I care about if somebody thinks I look bad. I'm going to say this right now. There are going to be people who believe me, and there are going to be people who don't believe me. If you don't believe me, you don't support me, that is 100% fine. I am not, and I have not explained myself or put my information on this internet to the sole purpose of somebody else's fan base. I did it for my supporters only. So if you take what I say and you come to me and try to tell me that I should stop talking about my business that I decided I wanted to put on the internet, I didn't have to do that for anybody. I did that for me. So here's the thing that people don't understand in the sense of dating violence. Dating violence can occur at any point of relationship. Once a relationship is established, whether that relationship is a friend or something that a person deems that they want more, that can be the entry of dating violence. Now, many people that may not see that stalking and harassment can lead to dating violence. An example of that is particularly rejection violence. So rejection violence is instances where people where a person reacts violently towards another person who has rejected their expression of romantic or sexual interest. Um, a lot of people, especially women, are aware of this type of thing that happens. This is why you have women who give fake numbers. This is how women who do the whole thing where people say you didn't let the person off nice. For example, there was a man who stabbed a woman for returning a gift that he had sent her. And he ambushed her and asked him about the gift, and he didn't like the way that she was responding, and he lost his temper. People like this person who was stalking me experienced rejection from me. So rejection violence was the retaliation in whatever episode that went on, and the gruesome details of talking about harming me. That is a form of rejection violence. You see it when people reject somebody and they're like, fuck that bitch. Oh, excuse me. Fuck whatever this person, they ain't that bad anyway. Like, I see people engaging in conversation, calling me mid and all this other stuff because this person was rejected. It's important to remember that at the end of the day, this information that I put out was solely for the purpose of this person not understanding and not accepting that I rejected them. So if people are saying that I'm lying because I have publicly made it aware to other people that I was experiencing something that was extremely traumatic for me, in the sense of a person threatening to take their life because I no longer wanted to be in conversation with them. A lot of you are coming off as entitlement in the sense of using the photos that I have took or I sent to him as a sense of entitlement to my space or my time by saying that's a form of leading someone on. Now, that is a type of sexual entitlement that a lot of people don't realize that they're partaking in. A lot of you are under this belief that you believe that he is inherently entitled to me because of sexual gratification that he had experienced in the sense of receiving a photo from me. I know that people are taking this step further with using me being a sexually liberated person and a person who works in a field of that as a way to dishonor who I am as a person. You guys are trying to use my avenue of what I choose to do with my own space and the likeness of myself as an exploitive tactic to depersonalize me and objectify me to being somebody else's whatever because they share certain things. It's the same way when, like I explained before, how people, if a person is nice to somebody at a bar or something, or because unfortunately, in order for a lot of us to avoid violence, we end up being nice to a person. We may smile at them, we may let them down easy, because when we are a certain way, we are seen as we're being too harsh. Okay. This aggressiveness that I've been experiencing from people on here is a form of a lot of you guys and your toxic masculinity, and thinking that you can silence me because you don't like what I am saying or what I am putting out there. You thinking that I should have a proper way to talk about the things that I've experienced is a form of rejection violence. You victim blaming me by saying that I was not mean enough, or victim blaming me by saying I continue to talk to this person is a form of participating in rejection violence. The whole he was a nice guy who got rejected by too many times by women is a form of rejection violence that you guys are participating in. Saying that I should have let him down easily is another form of rejection violence. That type of thing and that type of thinking only delays, and it does not prevent somebody for talking violently and saying they're going to do violent things or even acting violently towards somebody. That just delays the response of the things that they may experience from a person. So a lot of you who think that my job, or for instance, telling me I should have done more, is also feeding into rejection violence by this idea that you think that it's my job to manage the violence that's being given to me. Even though you should turn it around to the person who is projecting and the person who was rejected, who is participating in that type of behavior. And it's all toxic, which goes into my point of stalking. Threatening or harassing someone is a behavior that is done repeatedly. That is stalking. Okay, so telling somebody that you're gonna take their life and continuously talking to them is a form of stalking. I don't know if you people know, there is a form of internet stalking. Cyber stalking is a thing, and it is a crime. Cyber stalking consists I'm just flabbergasted that I even have to talk about this in this type of detailed way and articulate myself in this type of way. A lot of you participating cyber stalking, whether you are blocked from somebody's page and you find some type of access to them, or whether you are you know that a person particularly says they don't like particular people following them, and you're still actively following them, is a form of cyber stalking. Any type of electronic device you use to communicate with another person beyond their means and their boundaries is a form of cyber stalking. False allegations some of you guys are doing, threats, hacking, doing these things in a repetitive order is cyber stalking. And I know some people say stuff like, they don't understand what cyber stalking is. If a person is harassing you by messaging you over and over after you blocked them, form of cyber stalking. If you told somebody that you do not want further contact with them and they continue to do so, that is cyber stalking. I've saved all communications of most of the communications that I've had in sense of the cyber stalking from people. But not replying and somebody doing that type of way is just completely disgusting and disingenuous of so many of you to try to pretend like it's not happening and it has not happened. So some people like I said too, don't understand what is the point and what can be considered as stalking. Exactly what I went through. Like I said, a lot of stalking can be romanticized as well. And it is often minimized and normalized through a lot of people, and especially the media. I think it's normal for a lot of people to, it's normalized for a lot of people to exist in the realm of cyber stalking and stalking people, because they think because they can see someone, that means that they deserve access to somebody. Even if somebody privatizes their things, they don't have to have their things privatized for you to be stalking them. A lot of people stalk celebrities or famous people that they know, which is why a lot of these people who are constantly writing me but don't want me to reply have done. You looking up every video of somebody and looking at all the details, you're stalking a person, whether you know the person or not. And a lot of people have endured stalking. And I know that a lot of you people think that if you ignore stalking, it will go away. That's not how stalking and stalkers work. Stalkers don't solemnly just stop stalking you. They don't just say, hey, I'm just gonna stop stalking this person. That's not what happens. And I don't know if you guys know the statistics behind people who are, unfortunately, their life is taken by a stalker, who, whether that person is in the mental crises, or if that person decides that they cannot live without a person, or that person decides that the rejection is too strong, so they want to persist in a more violent way. 54% of women who are victims of violently their life ending that way have reported stalking to the police. So a lot of you who say, in the sense of reporting these things and saying that I have not reported or I should report, like I've said before, I have reports going back to the stalking and the things that I've experiencing since 2017. On up into recently. So I know that some people are thinking that in life, that if you continuously push and pursue someone, that they'll eventually fall in and maybe fall in love with you. That is not true. Stalking is also a crime in 50 states. So 13 states classify stalking as a felony upon the first offense. 35 states classify stalking as a felony upon the second offense. Okay? I'm just giving you guys some statistics about some stuff. And a lot of stalking does happen, like I said, too, once you reject a person. That's also a fact. People who do the whole delusional thing of thinking that they are meant to be with somebody and so infatuated with the person that they're stalking, which I find very ironic that a lot of people are calling or saying all these negative things about me, in the sense of y'all being the do boys or people that you are, the people I'm talking to, the people who are blindly believing anything, and if you choose to do so, whatever, right? But the people who believe that at 1 minute I am the bane of everybody's existence because I denied a person, because I rejected them, or because I was sarcastic, and I have not seen anybody post the various amounts of messages after those messages that was posted in screenshots. So it's almost like not understanding something about a situation and then clarifying a person in the situation, but they still choose to stay stuck or to follow suit on the things that you used to say. I have no control over a person doing that. Um hmm. The borderline of thinking that a person is secretly in love with a person, which a lot of people do, especially in the day and ages of in the internet. You guys do a lot of like trying to win people over in order to make people like you, and that's the problem with why a lot of people don't see what's happening as wrong. I am not anybody's possession or thing that once was had. um So typically getting on here and telling me again what I should and should not talk about. As I said before, if you do not like what I am talking about, please disengage and find a topic that you like. Okay? I promise YouTube has Facebook, Twitter, or whatever other site that you choose to use has so many spaces of areas that you can choose to conversate and talk about things that you actually like. Okay, again, I did not post my story for any Sonic viewers. I posted it for awareness to my community. Now, because of a lot of you are people who have to go out and find ways to look and search a certain topic, I know a lot of you are fine, great fondness on searching a creator's name and seeing what recent reports is, especially when you've seen the alarming tweets that he wrote on those days. You probably searched his name to see. I know that's very normalized for a lot of you guys, but it's not healthy, okay? I'm not gonna let people try to say what I went through is not legitimate when I have actual police records that made my case an actual criminal case. So I also would like to speak directly to people who do support me. I know I don't promote this YouTube or anything like that. I just like to have stuff on here just in case. And I also know since I don't have great numbers on here or following or fan base on here, that a lot of my stuff will be swept under the rug. And that's fine. In a lot of instances, just as long as it's here. But the facts and the findings are 75% of the people who are stalked knew the person who stalked him. So I don't know what your tendency is of thinking that you deserve to continuously harass people for whatever reason, or just because you see somebody reply on something means that you should engage into the conversation with them because it's on a public platform. Please decenter yourself and find something that's worth centering other than trying to tell people how they should and should not talk. 11% of the people who have been stalked said they've been stalked for more than a 5 year period. Which I'm meeting that mark now. Unfortunately. Again, back to cyber stalking, right? Hey. Hey, good boy. Hey. Hey. Premeditation is a form of cyber stalking. Repetition, obsession, even vendettas can be a form of cyber stalking. Some people have no legitimate purpose on why they cyberstalk. And a lot of cyberstalking is personally directed. Whether you at a person or say their direct name, that's what it is. And regardless of a person saying that they want the stalking to stop, it still doesn't stop. People can cyberstalk by using certain engines or whatever type of technical aspect to target a victim. People use Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, or whatever to stalk their people, right? Internet harassment is something that I wanted to go over too. Trying to damage a person's reputation of the victim by spreading false information. For example, a lot of you are harassing me by saying and giving out false information by saying I did the same thing to him, by saying the information is not completely accurate. It's harassment, or posting that I blocked you is another form of harassment. So I know that a lot of you, I don't know if No Child Left Behind actually left some of you guys behind, but yeah. As well as when I seen comments in a Discord talking about posting my content. I don't know if you guys know, but posting somebody's stuff, whether they published it on a private site, is still a form of revenge pornography. Okay? Revenge porn does not only consist when you know a person and they've never leaked their photos or they never posted their photos and you posted it. Revenge porn can be done when a person does sex work or when a person does that type of content. You can take that content and post it in the name of trying to demean a person as a form of revenge porn. And I've seen some of you engage and talk about doing that to me. So collaborating on revenge porn, very disgusting and low. Okay. Using Discord, whether people or Twitter or YouTube, whether people are publicizing or not, even if it's in a private space, using any type of third party to get people to join in pursuit of what you're trying to do is another form of cyber stalking as well. Okay. Hacking, like I said, a form of cyber stalking. You guys or whoever sent me an email after trying to hack my stuff saying sign the Cobanomites, I really hope that you truly get help, because it seems like you're definitely watching my page or pages to see what I'm doing. And also to the individual who ran the other page who's saying that they was, like I mentioned this before, who said they were not going to post the screenshots that my stalker had already posted because they thought that I was going to try to take down their page, because the stalker, his page had got suspended, even though there was multiple slurs and language and tweets that violated Twitter's rules, which is probably what got him taken down. I didn't report because I don't, the way that I am, if I have you blocked, I'm not going to look for you. I wish that some of you did the same thing and not look for people. If I know certain information someone is telling me, I feel disgusted going to a person's page who wants nothing to do with me. In fact, my stomach starts turning because why am I doing that to myself? Okay. I also think that a lot of you guys misuse the term grooming. Grooming isn't something that just only happens with children on the internet. It's something that a lot of people do in the sense of emotionally manipulating people and trying to form an emotional connection with somebody online. It consists of trying to be friends and establishing that emotional connection with somebody online. It typically does happen with younger people who are particularly vulnerable, but it's not always happening with young people who are particularly vulnerable. And I don't think people understand the nuisance behind this, but even though my pages are private, social media is never really private. Especially if you have a person who's finding a way to infiltrate or be in your space. Anyway, rejected stalkers are the worst. Being obsessed with somebody who's your former friend or partner, who's ended their relationship with you, that's the rejected stalker. And sometimes rejected stalkers can be resentful stalkers. And resentful stalkers are people who are looking for revenge against somebody who has upset them. And then you have the predatory stalker. I'll let you, And I don't know how many Law and Order shows that some of you've been watching, but the police does not work how you guys think that it works. Some of people think that you just call the police and you show them stuff, and it just gets it. Oh man, let's go find this person. Like, that's not how it happens. Most of the victims of stalking, like I said before, have contacted police. Over half of them. And over 89% of the victims who have been physically assaulted have also been stalked. But most people report the stalking before if something bad happens. That's not how the police work, though. So I'm laughing because of the audacity of some people. Oh. But that's the way that some things work. But anyway, that is a short list of things that I wanted to say on here. In regards of the comments and things that I have been receiving from people. Again, if you do not like me making comments on any type of posts or any type of thing that I wrote in regards to people responding to me, disengage and find some business to attend to. But coming in my space trying to tell me how to attend to my business is a no-go. Do yourself some justice and move on, okay? I wish that my thing worked on here, but it's just not. So I bid you adieu. If I need to come back on here and explain some terminology behind things because a lot of people seem lost. Again, thank you to people who do support me and those people who have not been delusional. And I hope that if you are delusional that you get well. Therapy is not free, but it's a tool that is worth using if you're ready to use it. I hope you guys have a good fall. Until I'm back next